Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Badger Blitz TV. I'm Jake Kocorowski, senior writer at BadgerBlitz.com, your Rivals.com destination for all things Wisconsin athletics, from the recruiting trail inside Camp Randall Stadium and on the court of the Kohl Center. And all three of those, by the way, are busy this week. You have a big Junior Day event. Badger Blitz will have tons of coverage on our website from John McNamara and likely myself. Obviously, football with Pro Day coming up. Basketball, something about a men's basketball team possibly winning outright the Big Ten regular season championship. We'll have more coverage from that coming up on BadgerBlitz.com too. But talking about football program, Pro Day is Wednesday. You're seeing some Badgers at the NFL Scouting Combine right now. We have one player, number 18 for the Wisconsin Badgers. Very photogenic. I have a picture right here. I don't know if you can see this right now, but the first picture I'm showing is him yelling after the Iowa game after a big upset victory over the Hawkeyes. And obviously the creator of the Grit Factory, the founder of the Grit Factory, former walk-on, now obviously going and working to pursue his dreams in the NFL. We got Collin Wilder on. Collin, thanks for making time this Sunday.
Yeah, Jake, I appreciate you having me. I'm excited to talk about some of this stuff.
Excellent, man. Now, let's talk into this. First off, I know you weren't able to participate in the Las Vegas Bowl. You went into extensive detail as to why, what happened, with obviously the injury that at the first play of the Minnesota game, which not just knocked you out because of the targeting call, but then also the injury thereafter. But how are you feeling physically? Where are you at? How are you cleared? And just overall, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I've been cleared for all activity, including, playing football several weeks ago. But I mean, I've been doing all the full workouts, full activity. I've been doing that since the early January, and the doctor said it would heal on its own in 6 weeks, and I mean, it's played its course, and I mean, I'm healed up and ready to go, ready to be me again, and fly around on the field at some point whenever God willing I get that chance again. But yeah, I feel great. I mean, workouts have been great. I've had no issue with my health at all, so I'm ready to get after it at this point on Wednesday.
So, what if you could take us through that? What were the steps of the injury that you talked? You had the injury, then you had the 6 weeks off. What were the processes of being approved or being cleared for not just physical workouts, but then you said football related workouts too?
Yeah, I mean, they just, more than anything, they just recommended me during those 6 weeks just not to hit anybody. So yeah, obviously, if don't play in the bowl game, then the season's over. You have no chance to do that. So that was the biggest thing. And when you don't do that, it kind of just allows the area to heal naturally and the way that it's supposed to heal. And I mean, the biggest thing was that, and then I just couldn't lift upper body for the past 6 weeks during that healing process. So I wasn't able to start lifting upper body until January 5th, when I reported for training. And I've been doing that ever since. But I mean, it's been a process. It's been a process to get that strength back, just not from the injury, but just from not lifting. I mean, when they tell me not to touch a weight with my upper body for 6 weeks, I mean, it does make a difference when you've been doing it, upper body lifts for however long on a consistent basis. I can't remember the last time I've not touched a weight for 6 weeks in my upper body. So, that was the one thing that's taken some time to gain some strength back. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I've had no issues, and you kind of just roll and get right into working out. And if you feel good, you just keep going. And so, I mean, I felt great, and I felt no pain. And, and then I went and saw the doctor and just got the okay that, I mean, I'm good to go. So, everything's been a smooth process, which has been great.
So, you and I were talking beforehand, and you're training pretty close to Wisconsin. You're staying within state lines. Where are you at right now? Where are you training? And just how has that, those workouts been for you?
Yeah. So I've been training at Next Level out in Waukesha, about an hour away from Madison. I've been training with Brad Arnett. It's been a great experience to train with one of the best. I mean, not only is he one of the best at what he does, but he's just an even better man. He's a great guy to be around. He's very selfless. He's selfless to where he's allowing me to live in his basement for the past 2 months. So I've been part of the Arnett family. for the past 2 months, and it's been great. I mean, they've taken great care of me. They've been my parents, Stacy and Brad. So, but it's really cool just how everything kind of comes around full circle from this, because I've had Chris Maragos, former Badger, and he trained with Brad. I've had several other NFL guys who played at Wisconsin tell me before even training about Brad Arnett and just how good he is and how good he is with the body and how he's good with getting you healthy, getting your body back in balance, and getting you ready to run. And I heard great things, and thankfully, trying to make a long story short, but thankfully, when the agent that I went with, Garrett Blair, I asked him where he usually has his players train. And most agents, for people who don't know, most agents are connected to workout facilities. So that's why I called Garrett one day during the season, and I just kind of still going through the process of picking an agent, but I really liked this guy, and I was like, well, where do you usually have guys train? He's like, well, I let you pick. You can pick if there's a place that you'd want to go. And so then I told him, well, I've heard great things about this place called Next Level, about an hour away. So Garrett called Brad up, and I set a meeting up with Brad later on, and gave me a plan, and I loved it. And then he said I could stay in his basement for the time of training. And I mean, it's been great. It's been a fantastic experience. Biggest thing was just being confident by the time I get to pro day, being confident in the drills, being confident in my technique and my form and whatever I'm doing. And, I'm really confident up to this point. So Brad's done a great job for me.
So, talking about how's your former teammate Owen Arnett, now you're kind of part of that. I mean, you're already a family being part of the team. How much closer are you guys now being with Owen, obviously the son of Brad Arnett?
Yeah. So, again, it's pretty cool. But even before I even met Brad, when Owen got to campus this last season, and I get a text from Chris Maragos introducing Owen to me. He put us in a group chat. He's like, "Hey, this is Owen Arnett, great guy. He's going to be in your position group." So Owen and I got really close during the season, and so with me and Owen getting really close, I got really close with Brad. So I got pretty close to the family, and so it's pretty cool how that worked out. But yeah, once we kind of figured out like this is probably where I was going to go train, and once Owen found out that I was going to be staying there, I was like, all right, Owen, so what are the house rules, man? Is there anything that I need to be aware of when I move in? Do you got any pets? He's like, yeah, I got 3 dogs. Like, we got one huge chocolate lab who thinks he's a lap dog, and he loves to get in bed, down in the basement at night. So just be ready for that. And yeah, that dog's woken me up several times already. But I mean, he's embraced it. He's definitely embraced me living here. And when I moved in, when he was on break, he and I would go train at the same time. So we would carpool to Next Level for several weeks while he was home, and he kind of showed me the ropes of like the warm up, and because he grew up around all this stuff, so he knows how Brad's system works. And Owen was one just to kind of introduce me to everything. And I'm just so grateful for the entire family for all that they've done for me up to this point. I mean, there's stuff I just can't even repay them for.
Within that, what is your schedule then? What's been your routine schedule leading up to pro day in terms of lifting, stretching, conditioning, recovery? What's kind of been the routine for you leading up to this day?
Yeah. I mean, what's nice about these times, training for pro day, is your day is just training. It's, you don't have classes. I'm in 2 classes right now online, but I mean, I'm handling them kind of at my own time, my own pace. But, your day is completely scheduled around you just getting prepared for pro day. So it's all on your time too. It's about what you want to make out of it. But I work out at 11 a.m. So it's nice. I set my alarm for 9:15. Kind of take my time getting up and getting moving, but make some breakfast, head down there, and the warm up is usually, there's always some similarities every single day for the warm up. But our warm up takes sometimes like an hour 15. I mean,
Oh wow.
it's a long warm up, but it's all for a purpose. Everything that Brad does is specific to help you get ready to run, and creating habits for your running technique through the warm up. It's really well done, and I mean, there's some days which all athletes can relate to is just getting up, and sometimes you just don't feel great. Sometimes your body hurts. You got areas in your body that you're like, it's just not really feeling it today. Well, this warm up actually gets you warm. I mean, you are sweating by the time you're ready to actually hit the full workout. So the workout ranges from like 2.5 to 3 hours. So, between there, it's just one workout a day. Some training facilities do 2 workouts for pro day, but Brad just likes to do one. And I go home, and usually I'm either hitting some sort of recovery by either just getting in the hot tub at some point before I go to bed that night, or I'm just laying around in the basement until the family gets home, hang out with the family a little bit, turn on a movie, and call it a night, and kind of just do it all over again each day. But then the nice part about being near Madison, though, is on Saturdays I go back to Madison and hit some field work. So I've gotten a chance to see some coaches, gotten a chance to see Coach Leonard, got a chance to see still a bunch of the guys, who are still on the team in Madison. So it's been a great opportunity for me to still stay connected with guys, but also get the work in to be prepared for pro day. So it's a great situation. It's been a fantastic situation. God's provided more than enough for me during this time, which I'm truly thankful for.
I'd say within it, what gains have you made? Have you seen? I know you talked about not being able to lift weight your upper body for 6 weeks, but what gains have you made since you've been able to start lifting again, and not just lifting wise, but what have you seen from yourself in terms of gains, either speed, technique, etc., leading into pro day?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to talk about numbers. Not yet. I feel like I've seen people in the past talk about what they've done and what they've ran or what they've lifted going into pro day, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter till it actually happens on pro day. So I don't want to talk about the numbers, but I feel confident. I love the preparation that I've put in up to this point. With the nutrition, I've been given meal preps, and I've lost 3% body fat, which has been big time for me. So that's one thing that I'm really thankful for, and that shows just the work that Brad has given to me, and the work that we both put in. It's results are showing. So I'm confident in not only that, but in the results that should come on pro day. But the great thing about Brad is he doesn't overcoach. He gives you the important points, and then he just says, just go be an athlete, just run, just go. And he's really good at just cutting you loose, and after coaching you on the little things that can make a big difference in your technique, and doing that over and over with them. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I feel really confident up to this point going into these drills. So that's all you can ask for.
And so within it, you talked about Chris Maragos a lot and whatnot, but have you talked to any former Badgers, former teammates about the process, about the pro days and talking to NFL teams, and just this kind of this time between being a former college athlete and then working towards a dream of landing in the NFL? Have you had chance to talk and keep in contact with former teammates, former Badgers?
Yeah. So the cool thing too about Next Level is there's several other players that train there. I've been able to talk to the watch train there. I've been able to talk to TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards has given me a lot of good things to talk about. Zach Bond, he's back training there. So I've been able to talk to them about just kind of what the draft process is like. Because I mean, everybody is different. Everybody has a different draft stock. Everybody's journey is slightly different. That you get interest from different teams, different. It's all different for each person. But I talked to Chris Maragos too, and I think just the biggest thing was just getting guys who were in a similar draft stock as I am. I mean, I'm not projected to be, let alone drafted. I'm trying to get one of the first phone calls after the draft. I mean, that's the realistic thing of it. If I get drafted, that'd be great. But I'm trying to have that perspective of, all right, for guys who are under the radar, how did this process work for you? If you had a great pro day, what was next? And they've kind of given me some really good advice on just how to handle that after pro day. It sounds like teams can call you whenever they want after pro day, and they might fly you out for an interview. They might fly you out for a workout. They might want you to go back to Madison for a workout. It all just depends. It all depends on what teams think of you and what they might want to do with their time with you. So it's all up in the air. I mean, it's kind of just you gotta be willing to adjust. You gotta be willing to adapt and be ready to go whenever a team calls. But it's an experience that I've never really, even been close to experiencing before. So I'm just ready to kind of go wherever I'm told and do whatever I'm told to do, and hopefully I'll get plenty of phone calls after pro day, which means that I would have had a really good pro day. So that's the goal.
Absolutely. Now, let's look back a little bit on your Badger career. I don't know if you were able to see this up on your screen. We put a little graphic up for you. You played 32 career games at UW, 13 starts between 2019 2021, 81 career tackles as a Badger, 4.5 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions, 14 passes defended. Last year, all Big Ten honorable mention, consensus by both media and coaches, 32 tackles. You had obviously, we thought it was an interception at first, but I believe that's what the forced fumble and fumble recovery came out to be. I think that was the Purdue game, right? 3 interceptions. I don't mean to bring back bad memories. People aren't seeing this because the graphics.
No.
You shook your head.
No, absolutely, yeah. I just don't like. I wish they put an interception with that one. That kind of made me mad. I think that was stupid, but you can keep going. That was why I was shaking my head.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good, man. It was like, but no, we had three interceptions, 4 passes defended on that. Have you had a chance to? I think I talked to you about this. I know a bunch of us did on mid-December, but have you had a chance to reflect on your career yet about where coming from Houston, being a walk-on, eventually starter, huge contributor for this team? Have you had a chance to reflect on your journey here in Madison?
A little bit. After I knew that I couldn't play in the bowl game, I took some time to reflect, and then after the bowl game, I went to Florida with some of my best friends on the team and their family, and just to kind of clear my head. And I took some time to reflect during those times, and I couldn't think of a better place to be, to play my career. And I'm so grateful for every opportunity that I had there, and I'm grateful that whatever opportunity I had, I took advantage of. It's a lot. I mean, especially when you come in as a transfer, you come in as a walk-on. There's a lot of obstacles that maybe not many people see unless you're in the locker room. There's a lot of ups and downs with trying to be successful, let alone get on the field. And there's so many people that made an impact for me to be able to be out there on that field and to be able to make plays. And without those people, there's no way that I would have been able to do that. So the community of Wisconsin, the resources that this program has provided for me has just been beyond whatever I could have dreamed of. So it was just some of my favorite memories were not only on the field, but it was in the locker room with the guys, and being in the meeting rooms with Coach Leonard and watching film with him just one-on-one. I mean, those are some of my favorite memories that just goes beyond making plays on the field. But no, I'm truly so thankful just to be a part of something so big. Wisconsin football it's a legendary program. It's just so it's in such a high level of college football, and I'm just so grateful to just be a small piece of that, and to have experienced that with now some of my best friends that I'll have for life. I mean, there's nothing else that I could ask for that it could make that experience any better.
Now, I mean, you and Scotty depart in the program. Obviously, the 2 starters, highly big contributors, big. Looking at, I didn't even put up the stats of this, Collin, but obviously looking through the defense, number 1 in rush defense and total defense, number 4 in passing yards allowed and team passing, defense efficiency, third in the nation in the least amount of third down conversions by an opponent and whatnot. A lot of that was helped by the secondary, by you and Scotty as safeties. In your eyes, and I think we talked about this in mid-December as well, but who's going to step up in that safety group? Who's going to bring the juice, if you will, in the defensive backfield to replace you and Scott Nelson?
Well, the great thing is about this past team in 2021 is how close we were. I know we've talked about that a lot. So we've been in touch with all the guys. I mean, I've gotten updates, almost weekly updates on how the program's going, how the guys are doing. Who's working, who's not. I've gotten plenty of updates from that, and the great thing about this coming team, I think, is they're guys who are aware that leadership has to step up, and they knew that from day one when they came back for this new team, and it sounds like there are a lot of guys who are stepping up right away. John Torchio is one of them, as being one of those leaders. And, it's really cool to see because he's always been one of those guys that's just kind of like, nah, I don't really want to say anything. That's all you. Y'all got it. Now he is, one of those guys with a voice, and he's bringing guys along with him, and he's helping guys who are new and trying to adapt into the program. And I think that's awesome. And especially when coming from, I guess I would consider, Torch is a guy who was part of that starting lineup because of how much he played last year. So, I mean, it's really cool to see a guy who, was kind of just getting into a role this past year. Now he's going to jump into not only a starting role, but he's going to jump into a huge leadership role. And so I think John, my boy Torch, I think he's definitely going to be one that's going to, provide a lot of leadership in the back end. And then Travion Blaylock, it's been great to see him get some reps this past year. And if you really watch the film and watch him play, the sky's the limit for him. He's a physical monster who's extremely gifted. So I'm really excited for him. And then Hunter Wilder too. He was getting his toes in the water last year, dipping his toes in the water. And I think going into this year, I can see him coming in with a lot more confidence. I feel like last year he's just still trying to learn, trying to figure out not only the plays, but just college football in general. And you could tell as the weeks go on, he was gaining more confidence. And now that he's had a year under his belt, I can definitely see him getting in the mix and, and also challenging the other two guys who are expected to step into a starting role. I can see him challenging those two guys to up their level of play too. So really excited for that back end. I know there's some transfers in the corner group. I haven't got a chance to really talk much to those new guys, but that seems like there's going to be a lot of competition in that side of the secondary. So I think it's great. I'm really excited for this defense. I don't think the defense is going to fall off, but they're only going to just keep getting better. So.
And then a couple more questions. We'll get you out of here, Collin. First one, I've asked all the players that we've talked to in the past few weeks these two questions. We'll start with defense. Who do you think the breakout player on defense for Wisconsin will be in 2022?
Breakout player. But breakout player is in like a guy who we don't expect, or just one guy on the defense who's just going to be the wrecking ball? I
would say the former. I would say that someone that would just you haven't seen that could make a splash on defense.
Yeah, I think Darrell Peterson for sure. I think that seeing flashes of him every day in practice last year, and I think now with Noah Burks being gone and he's having to step into that role, I'm really excited to see what him and Herbig both do on the edges. I think both of them are going to be headaches for tackles, with their pass rush game. So I'm really excited for those two guys. John Torchio, honestly, I know I brought his name up a lot already, but I think he had 3 or 4 interceptions last year. or four.
Three. I thought it was
And
three. Yeah.
again, was it three? And I mean, again, like he was getting significant snaps, but him getting into a starting role, him probably doubling his reps from last year, I can see him having a crazy productive season. As his instincts are only going to keep getting better as well as Coach Leonard getting better as a defensive coordinator. Already talking to him, the guy is just the guy. He's just something special. So, so with those two getting better, I can see Torchio having a really productive year as well. So I'm pulling for everybody to do well, but I can definitely see those guys stepping up big time.
And Collin, too, now going to the other side of the ball. You talk about defense on the offensive side of the ball. Who do you think could be a breakout player for Wisconsin in 2022?
Yeah. I've heard great things about Jack Nelson. I've heard about his ability on the O-line and his ability to pass block from other guys during this offseason. I can see his level of play continue to rise, continue to get better. And then Marcus Allen, I think Marcus Allen is one obviously that most people are pretty excited to see, especially after the bowl game. But it wasn't just a bowl game for me; it was more during bowl prep. It was more during the season. You could see him, throughout the season, just continuing to climb in his level of play and continuing to get better. So I can definitely see him being one that's going to be very reliable for our offense this coming year. So I'm really excited for both those guys. But I can definitely, from what I've heard too, I can see those two guys being huge impacts for our offense.
All right, absolute last question. Grit Factory, talk about bring your own juice. What else do you got in store on the entrepreneurial side coming up for you?
Yeah. So we have the Grit Factory hats on sale in the bookstore now. I'm continuing to trying to figure out, kind of what more that the Grit Factory can do, and how it can continue to stay in the culture of the university. So just got to continue to get creative, continue to bounce some ideas off some people, but yeah, right now, I mean that's the biggest thing is I know fans wanted hats. Barstool stopped making the hats, so I had to figure out how we can get these hats to fans. So I'm glad we've been able to do that. And hopefully the fans like them, and hopefully we can continue the Grit Factory, throughout, the entire University of Wisconsin athletics. So that's the biggest thing right now.
Excellent, Matt. I appreciate you making time. I know we said this offline, but I appreciate you making time, extra couple minutes, 10 minutes over what I said initially it would be, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for just, I know a few of us, said thank you too for all your time, not just during wins or losses, but the weekly availabilities, everything, man. It's been, we appreciate you making time for us, man. Continued success moving forward, and all that, and best wishes for Pro Day coming up on Wednesday, my friend.
Oh, thanks, Jake. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate talking to you. I always appreciate spending this time with you. So again, I appreciate you.
Awesome, man. We'll see you Wednesday. I'll be there. So
awesome.
Unless there's a sick kid or other unforeseen circumstances when you're in this household with three boys, it's always fun. So,
yeah, I'm sure.
But I appreciate you, man. Folks, that is Collin Wilder, of course. And folks, I'm Jake Kocorowski. We're going to wrap it up here on Badger Blitz TV. Make sure y'all check out, coming up this week, we're going to have Pro Day interviews, Pro Day highlights. We're going to have so much more. And go to BadgerBlitz.com with all your recruiting news, with Junior Day being today, along with more basketball coverage as the Big Ten tournament kicks up. So I'm Jake Kocorowski. I'll stop talking. Y'all have a great weekend.